Yo, what's up with it? Make sure you send your videos to thatboywillreacts@gmail.com. Let's get into it.
I knew that it was over when I was in Mexico because he told me not to talk to him. He told me not to talk to him while I was on the trip with him.
It's simple. He don't like you.
And I'm like, wow, like I'm really on this vacation with my husband in Mexico, the most beautiful place ever, and I can't talk to my husband. That means that there's no intimacy going on. That means ain't no touching, no hugging, no anything. This man put a pillow in between us.
You have to ask yourself, what would prompt a husband to tell his wife that? What did she do that made him feel that way? Because no man is just going to tell his wife something like that without there being a motive. Keep that in mind.
And at that point, I knew I deserved better. I knew that I gave him so many chances, more chances than what he needed, more chances that I had given anyone else. I knew that I had let him slide, even though the first week when we were talking, I should have cut him loose, but I kept him.
This ain't adding up.
At that moment, it was partially my fault that I was in this miserable relationship. And when I say miserable, I mean a relationship that doesn't include intimacy and love, which is very important in a relationship. Just to have that affection and that close intimacy with a person. So when we was in Mexico, he told me not to touch him. I'm like, okay, cool. This man treated me like shit for 5 fucking days. He treated me like fucking shit. When I
gotta stop it, bro, because the simple fact of the matter is a husband doesn't want his wife to touch him. Why though? Why does he not want you to touch him? She's not telling us the whole story, man. This is not the story. We need his side of the story. I'm already invested in it. I need to know what he did, what she did to make him feel that way.
He treated me like I wasn't worth anything. He treated me like shit, okay? Like I was going to the bars drinking by myself. He treated me like shit. And so I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So on the 6th night of the vacation, I was on my way back to the hotel room by myself in Mexico. Back to the hotel room, and long and behold, there was this fine, beautiful black man. There was this fine and beautiful black man. I swear, I thought like God himself had sent me this guy. I'm like, oh my God, he's tall, fine, beautiful, beautiful teeth, smell good. Like I was like sitting in the back of him, I can just smell like the cologne, like just coming my way. Nice watch, nice shoes. I was like, you know what? I think this is a sign.
Of course it is.
There's gotta be a sign, This man was tall. He was about, like 4 of my husbands put together. I'm like, there's gotta be a sign, because God told me he was gonna double it.
You need to leave that dope alone.
But anyways, so I started talking to this guy, and he had some nice conversation in the first, couple of minutes. On my way, I'm smelling his cologne. It was some very good conversation. And so at that moment, I decided, you know what? Fuck this. You are overdue on intimacy, love, and everything else. Fuck it. Because at this point, I was done with my husband. Didn't care what the fuck people thought about me.
I gotta stop her, man. She said God sent this man to her. God, right? He sent you a man just to blow your back out, just to cross that Virginia state line, but nothing else, right? Because I promise you, this man stayed in Mexico, or he went back to home, wherever home is, and they're not together. He was sent by God just to blow your back out one time while you in a marriage, which is something I know God frowns upon, but he sent this man to make you sin something that he frowned. It don't make sense. Continue though, ma'am.
Didn't give zero fucks whatsoever. And so, you know what? I hung out with this tall, beautiful black man, and I had the best time of my life. And I swear, like, when I was with him, I felt like I freed myself. I felt like I was trapped somewhere. And I know that, mentally you're trapped, but sometimes some good sex can bring you out of that shit and wake you the fuck up, like wake the fuck up. And that was the moment where I woke the fuck up, and I knew that I deserved love, I deserve affection. I deserve good intellectual conversation. I deserve a man that fucking smells good, no salt taste. I deserve it the fuck all. And that's when I cheated on my narcissistic husband.
You know, I'm not the brightest person in the world, but I've been around some really, really intelligent people who've brought conversations to light that I never would have found myself engaging in. And most of the time they don't curse every other word because they have such an expansive vocabulary or whatever. And you're telling me you out here having an intellectual conversation with somebody who's bright and every other word you say is a curse word, the F word and the S word. All right, I'm not buying it, fellas. Ladies, y'all might call me whatever y'all want to call me, but I don't believe this for 1 second at all.
Did I tell my husband that I cheated? I am a very honest female, and for me in a relationship, honesty is very important to me. So I always tell my husband, if I cheat on you, I'm gonna tell you. That's how I feel like a married couple should be. It should be honesty. And so when I came back from this big, beautiful black man, I'm telling you, we walked on the beach with our toes. I can still remember my toes in the sand, the coat, everything I wanted to do in Mexico that week. I did it in one night with this man. And so that morning, because I didn't get back to morning, because at that point I gave zero fucks what anybody, including my ex, had to say about me. He was my ex-husband at this point. So I came back to the room, and of course this fuck boy is doing some fuck shit. He locked the hotel door, like he bolted the fucking locks, right? So I'm knocking on the door, banging on the door, and I'm just happy at this point. It just felt like I just got a happy shot. When I went to Mexico, I was low. This was my first time since I was 35 years old, so I felt great at this point. At this point, I walk inside the hotel room, and you know, my ex, he couldn't tell me shit. He couldn't tell me not a thing. And I'm like, you know what? I cheated on you. And I told him everything. He said he didn't care.
It's simple. He don't like you.
I'm like, cool. Care is very important in a relationship.
You know, the only reason why she told him is not because she's an honest person. She felt so hurt and so low and so rejected by the husband that she just wanted to hurt him. That's all that was. She wasn't trying to be honest. This marriage is already in the shitter. This marriage is on his last leg. The husband doesn't give a crap about you. You know what? This was her down by 3 points. I'ma just throw this ball up, even though I'm way past the half court line. I'm closer to the opposite team's goal than I am to mine. But you know what? 2 seconds left on the clock. I'm throwing it up there. This was her shot out of desperation, just to hurt this man. That would have made her feel so good if she would have been able to hurt her, to get a response out of her husband.
After all is said and done, I can go back, I can laugh about, you know, how I screwed this random fine-ass man on a vacation with my husband there. It sounds pretty fucked up, but it made me evaluate myself. I was at a point in my life where I was that low that I slept with someone else. And for me, that wasn't my typical behavior. I'm 35 years old. I never did a one night stand. And so for me, I realized how low I was and how empty I was, and the importance of me doing that self-care work, and the importance of me evaluating everything around me. I had to evaluate my current relationship with my ex-husband, my relationship with my kids, my friends, my job, and how I was spending my time, and why I was in a place where I was this low. So yeah, self-care was very important to me following that.
Guys, this was an interesting story to me, man. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it real with y'all. I don't believe it for 1 second, man. God sent this guy to you so that you could cheat on your husband and break your vows, your covenant to the Lord. Yeah, right. Ma'am, just say you wanted some dick and just you wanted to get your cheeks clapped, and that's what it was. You was mad at your husband. This is the way you felt like you could get even with him. And that's what it was. You ain't have to throw in all that other stuff, man. We know what it is. We grown. You just wanted to get your back blew out by a stranger, because God wouldn't send you no dude to break your wedding vows and for him to just discard you, because we know y'all ain't make a relationship after that, man. This guy figured out that you probably was a bird brain, and if he is as intellectual as you made him out to be, what do you and him have in common? All right, cool. Now that we got that understood, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you got any videos you want me to watch. Send them to dadboywillreacts@gmail.com. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.